And welcome to episode 6 of Driving Around Making Picks. I'm football handicapper Trey Carr. So week 6 is upon us. Week 5 is in the books. Great week last week. Trey Carr did very well. And I am just salivating over this week in the NFL. A lot of tiny point spreads, a lot of great value out there. And I think we're going to put together a really impressive week for you. So before I get into my picks, let me just talk about the notion of a system play. A system pick is one where when a game meets a certain set of criteria, that you always pick that team automatically, regardless of who it is or what the point spread is. Some very common system plays, for example, are there's a lot of people who always like to play a Monday Night Football home underdog. Some people like to always bet a team coming off of a bye week. So those are just two common system plays. Last week, I gave you a system play when we took Pittsburgh at home over Atlanta. The system play being that whenever a team plays at home 2 weeks in a row and loses the first week, as was the case with Pittsburgh when they lost to Baltimore the week before, I like to come back and bet that team hard in the second week. And if you recall, Pittsburgh had an easy time, especially in the second half with Atlanta, and we cashed all day on that system play. So this week, I've identified a system play that I'm pretty excited about, and it actually applies to 2 games. So without further ado, let's get right into the selections. Pick 1 is this system I'm about to tell you, and that is whenever a underdog wins at home and is at home again the following week, I like to bet against that same team. I know that sounds confusing, but bear with me. So in the case of the New York Jets hosting the Indianapolis Colts, the Jets last week, depending on when you bet them, were technically classified as an underdog. Some people got them at pick. Some people maybe even got them as a small favorite. I bet them as an underdog. They beat Denver pretty soundly at home. Well, they are back at home again this week against Indianapolis, and they're actually giving 2.5 points. So for that reason, I will be picking Indianapolis taking the points, the 2.5 points, over the New York Jets. The reason being is that their value inflates unjustly so, and they should not be a 2.5 point favorite over Indianapolis the second week in a row. Plus, they're coming off of a pretty big win. Could be a little bit of a letdown. All those reasons combined, Trey Carr is taking Indianapolis plus 2.5 at home as part of his system play. Staying on that same system play, the Cleveland Browns were 3-point underdogs last week, and they beat Baltimore at home. Well, Cleveland is back home again a second week in a row, and for that reason, I'm going to bet against them and take the LA Chargers, who are coming into Cleveland. They are only a 1-point favorite, and I will take them over Cleveland as part 2 of my 2-game system play. So I am taking the LA Chargers -1 over Cleveland Sunday at 1 o'clock. Moving right along to my third selection, I'm going to take the Atlanta Falcons, giving 3.5 to Tampa Bay. Now, I know there's a little bit of a danger play here in that Tampa Bay is coming off of a bye week, but I think Atlanta's value has been deflated because of their loss last week to Pittsburgh. I think they come back. I love them at home all the time, and I think this is a rebound week. I personally think this point spread should be at 4, 5, maybe even 5.5 points. The fact that it's only 3.5, I think, makes for a very obvious play. Let's take Atlanta -3.5 over Tampa Bay. And for my fourth and final pick here in Week 6 in the NFL, we will also take Pittsburgh getting points on the road at Cincinnati +2.5. A lot of reasons here. A lot of people have fallen in love with Cincinnati. Last week, not only were they down 17 points to Miami, they came back to win the game and cover the 6.5 points. But my theory is anytime you're getting Pittsburgh in a value position, here they're actually getting 2.5 points. In a division matchup, I'm going to take Pittsburgh +2.5 over Cincinnati Sunday at 1 o'clock. So there you have it. Just to review, we're taking Indianapolis +2.5 over the Jets. We will take LA Chargers -1 over Cleveland. We'll take Atlanta -3.5 over Tampa Bay, and then we'll close it out with Pittsburgh +2.5 over Cincinnati. So I wish you luck. If you like what you're seeing here on Driving Around Making Picks, don't forget to hit the subscribe button right here on YouTube. And we will be back again next week for Week 7 in the NFL. And in closing, as I like to always ask, will these picks get it done for you this week? And the answer is, of course, you bet.